Hi, we just had an incident.
Hello. Yeah, we just the sparkling rosé just exploded everywhere. So
It was a mess. Much like Valentine's Day can be a mess.
I love Valentine's Day.
You're one of the only people I know who has incredible Valentine's Days that are non-romantic.
I've had one decently romantic Valentine's Day and I ruined it. And I did have my own poetic justice for what I did.
Like
On another
karma
Valentine's
came for you.
Day. Karma came for my fucking throat.
It does that.
I will tell that story because it's really just so fantastic and wonderful and great.
Okay, cool. I would love for you to do that. That's why you're here.
When are you going to?
So today we thought that since Valentine's Day is in 2 days, we should talk about why it is so important to remember what you deserve, not to settle, and not to feel FOMO or jump into anything crazy or stay with someone you shouldn't be staying with just because it's like, oh, well, it was Christmas. Now it's Valentine's Day. You know that cycle?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, it's Halloween. We're going to dress up together. And it's like, well, then it's the holidays. And then we're going to have a New Year's kiss.
And then it's Coachella.
Just Valentine. Now it's Coachella.
And then it's 4th of July. And then, the next thing you know, you're married.
Then it's President's Day. Yeah, it's got to stop. And so we're here to remind you of your worth, whether or not you are single or in a relationship, and to tell really crazy things that happened to us on Valentine's Day.
We have had wonderful Valentine's Days together.
One, but it was incredible.
We only had one? I thought
we're about to have another.
I know. We're about to spend Valentine's Day together.
So romantic. Where are you taking me?
I'm actually making plans.
Stop.
I am making
Well, we're hosting something.
Exactly. I'm making plans.
Okay, so is Valentine's Day one of your favorite holidays?
Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. I am a perpetually single person. Like, yes, I've been in a lot of relationships, but I have only ever been in like maybe 3 romantic Valentine's Days. I've just never had.
Look at her. She loves
I love Valentine's Day. I love Jane Austen.
adorable.
I love rom-coms. I am so obsessed, and I throw platonic parties all the time. I literally threw a party to have someone come that I had a crush on, and they left with my friend that knew I planned the party. Like, I have had fucked up Valentine's Days, and I don't even care. It's the most fun holiday ever.
I had one of my best, if not the best Valentine's Days that I've ever had, which, like, sorry to my boyfriend, with Alexa. It was one of the last times that things were normal because it was February 14th of 2020, like right before COVID. I had just met Colin the day before.
Oh my God.
Literally the 13th, 5 years ago. Whoa. And then you hit me up and I was trying to like not have any feelings for him. And you were like, do you want to go get shit-faced and do karaoke with the cast of Crazy Rich Asians? And I was like, very random, yes. Immediately, yes.
That was such a fun night. Everyone was single, so we got this giant private karaoke room. There was like bottle service karaoke. It was the highest I'd been my whole life. So I had an entire Fat Sal's. I had like 2 entire Fat Sal sandwiches, and I think Chloe was forced to pay for them.
If you don't know what Fat Sal's is, Fat Sal's is, I'm going to read you what a Fat Sal's sandwich consists of. Roast beef, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, fries, brown gravy, mayo on a garlic hero. All of their sandwiches are like this.
And I had 2 of them.
And I think it was my idea. I was like, everybody's going to get Fat Sal's. And I started passing my phone around as if I was a Rockefeller. These sandwiches are like $25 a pop. I was like, did not have money at the time. And I remember waking up the next day. There's a video of me with my eyeliner all fucked up in the Uber home. And then I look at my bank statement and it's like, you spent $167 at Fat Sal's. And I was like, I'm going to kill myself. I didn't let myself out of the house for like 2 weeks after that. I put myself in jail. I was like, absolutely not.
At least I had fun.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying it wasn't fun, but the hangover was really real.
Bad. Well, I didn't drink. I was smoking weed all night.
So look, Valentine's Day.
Well, I've had amazing other Valentine's Days. Okay, so this was like 10 years ago. My first boyfriend is an incredibly wonderful, sweet human being. And I think Valentine's Day was the day that we realized we were both really lovely people that just were never going to end up together and it was never going to work out.
Tough.
He made the most beautiful plan. He like made the most beautiful reservation, beautiful hotel room. He got me the most beautiful bouquet of flowers. And he was like young. Like he didn't.
Hotel room is
amazing.
We're balling out.
No,
okay.
like he cared and he put the work in and he was so lovely. And I was a bitch cunt. Like I was a bitch. I decided what? Bitch cunt is one word. Yeah. So it's actually, it's like da fuck, but like bitch cunt. I was bitch cunt and I decided to just like make it the day we were going to talk about why our relationship wasn't going to work out. He like literally probably spent like his entire paycheck giving me the best Valentine's Day ever. 19-year-old me was like, absolutely not. I don't deserve this. Let me sabotage this and let him know why we're not going to end up together.
Self-aware.
I learned a lot. Anyway, I was also 19 years old. I give myself a lot of grace, whatever. We ended up breaking up, the whole thing. A couple Valentine's days later, I'm with one of my friends and him and I decide, let's throw like a pop punk themed like heartbreak club party. We're like, this is the best idea ever. And I figured I love writing. Rather than getting my friends cards, I like to get them books and I like to write in the sleeve of the book as the card. So I was like, I'm going to go do that for Valentine's Day. I'm going to go get a bunch of Bukowski depressing books, sad poetry, and just write little Valentine's Day cards to all my favorite single friends. Go to Barnes & Noble. I walk in and I see like the entry as always, like all the new books, and it was like all the new books about love. I'm like, oh, wow, this one book is so beautiful. The branding's gorgeous. I pick it up. It's my ex-boyfriend's book.
Stop.
Based on our relationship. I wish I was kidding. It's a New York Times bestselling book.
No, not the New York.
It's a New York Times bestselling book. And I always say my favorite thing in the entire world is poetic justice. And that was a moment in which my Valentine's Day was completely destroyed.
Poetically, quite literally. Right?
Poetically.
He's a poet?
He's not a poet. No, the book, it's an amazing book. He did a great job with it. It came from like the pain of like healing from a relationship. But you look at the book and you're like, this isn't happening. That was when I had finally kind of fully gotten over the relationship.
Were you getting over someone else at the time? Or what?
No, I definitely was avoiding my feelings and not letting people get close to me. So I think I was like heartbroken because I would like people and I wouldn't let them anywhere near me. Anyway, that's a different story for another day. So yeah, I go to Barnes & Noble, see the book based on a relationship. Really happy that I had a Black themed Valentine's Day party because that's exactly how I felt.
Did you read the book? Did you buy it?
I didn't buy the book. I read the book a couple years later. And
oh, wow. I'm sorry, the fucking willpower that you had to walk away from it, you didn't even open it up?
I opened it and saw the first I read the first couple pages and I was like, this isn't going to be as bad as I think it is. I don't think it's good to like buy this and read it now.
Okay.
One of my friends had it in his house. I was staying with one of my friends over the summer. A couple of years later, I was like, why do you have this? He's like, I saw it at Barnes & Noble. It's a New York Times bestseller. He's like, it's amazing. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a read.
Of course it is.
And I was like, wow, I'm really sorry about that.
Did you still have a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I still had so much fun. I have like a Valentine's Day survival hack, and it has also elevated my standard of dating. I just give myself my dream Valentine's Day. It's only been the years that I've given myself my dream Valentine's Day that I've had like amazing Valentine's Days. So this year, I booked myself a reservation at a restaurant that I love in New York because I'm gonna go get my favorite plate of pasta. I bought myself these diamond earrings that I've been wanting for a really long time. They're being made, they're on their way. And I've already ordered myself this like very specific kind of flower that I like so I can like have them in my room. And I bought this candle that I love that I don't ever treat myself to. So I got myself all those things. I bought myself a new little outfit that I love and I'm gonna take myself to dinner with my new diamond earrings. And honestly, until I have a Valentine's Day that makes me feel that much more alive via another person, like I don't really care to have any other Valentine's Day. I'm very okay with spending
because you're setting the standard,
myself.
fulfilling it yourself. And so until someone can meet you there, it's like, what's the point? You would literally be downgrading your Valentine's days to be with somebody who isn't putting in the same amount of effort.
Exactly. Like you just get to choose that day to like be really good to yourself. It's a day that you're supposed to kind of feel alone or feel single when you go, no, this is just going to be a day that I'm going to give myself as like a second birthday almost without the pressure of also having a birthday.
Something to keep in mind too is that if you're with a partner who also is really good about holidays, like Valentine's Day, Christmas, your birthday, whatever, but is not great to you the rest of the year, they're showing you who they are. Only being good to you one day or a few days out of the year isn't love, it's PR.
Amen.
Okay. Like,
amen.
I'm somebody who really cares about my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an ex who gave me a beautiful birthday, but like a nightmare of a relationship. And then I've had exes who gave me a shit birthday and a shit relationship. I think it's just important that we're looking at things beyond a holiday for where our standards are at. Also.
I think it's also something where some people are like, Valentine's Day doesn't matter. It's okay to let Valentine's Day matter to you. It is. Mm-hmm. For some people, it genuinely doesn't. They're like, I don't care. I don't care if it's on the actual day. I just care that it is celebrated and it is acknowledged and it is something that it matters to me. It is a manufactured holiday and I don't care.
That doesn't make you high maintenance. No. Holidays are like the things that we get throughout the year that are like little sparks of joy that bring us back to what it's like to be a kid and like when things were easy and fun. Like Christmas morning or Valentine's Day at school where you're like putting your little notes in little boxes.
It's also a reason why, like, I love being single on Valentine's Day, and I've allowed myself to love it because I throw all of my, like, single Valentine's Day parties. I'm just known for, like, my Galentine's Day parties. I host, like, a little party or at least take a friend to dinner every Valentine's Day. I don't let myself ever just, like, sit at home and be sad. I always spend it as a day to, like, let my friends know how much I love them.
Yeah.
If I know my friend is like, freshly out of a relationship, I'm like, oh, this is my opportunity to show that person you're going to be thinking extra hard than most people today. I'm going to go get you some flowers.
Which I love. You're steering me otherwise, which I appreciate. But I'm at a point where Valentine's Day for me, the way that I have been feeling about it prior to this conversation, is just like another day. It just, I don't know, like it's lost its spark for me the same way that Christmas is less exciting as you get older. I think part of it is just like, oh, it's a Hallmark holiday. Or if you've done it so many times, like let's say maybe you're married and you've had like 15, 20 Valentine's Days together. But I don't think that's okay. I don't think what I'm feeling is something that I want to normalize.
I think everyone's just so different. Everyone's so different. Like this was the first year I stopped caring about my birthday. I used to be so birthday obsessed and I did like the most for my birthday this year. And then I was kind of like, I don't really need to do that anymore. I just want to start having a nice day where I just like go on a trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, now I'm getting like less plugged into my birthday and I love Valentine's Day a little bit more. But I think it's because I genuinely think a really good way for life to feel longer and fuller is to really celebrate novelties. And that was a piece of advice I received when I was like 18. Somebody much older than me said, like, always lean into any opportunity to celebrate a novelty because that's what you remember. Like, we're remembering like karaoke on Valentine's Day. It's like, even if it's like not normally what it is, using it as an opportunity to make a special memory.
Sure, that's one of my core memories.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Versus just like kind of like trying to push it away. And that's why I love Valentine's Day because I feel like so many people try to hate on it. They try to think like it's either not a big deal or it's like Singles Awareness Day when it's like, that's not what it is at all. It's just an opportunity to have a really fun time and to like lean into a theme. It's so easy to make people feel like seen and special, and Valentine's Day is just like a really good excuse to do that. It's a good excuse to bring people together too, and myself.
To make yourself feel seen and special.
I was not going to buy myself those earrings, and I'm really happy that I did.
I'm proud of you that you did.
My own Valentine's Day present.
This is going to sound repetitive if you've listened to, or I don't know when I'm going to release what episode, so just bear with me. But I smoked a joint, found my childhood book, The Missing Piece by Shel Silverstein. I opened it and read it for the first time since I was literally 6 years old. And I've never read it from the perspective as an adult and what it actually meant. Because as a little kid, the missing piece is about this like little creature. It's a circle that has like a triangle mouth and it's rolling around looking for its missing piece so it can roll better. And it eventually meets a full circle who's like, you don't need a missing piece. And he's like, no, but I do. I'm not round. And he's like, have you ever tried to be round? And the missing piece, after going through like all these journeys, is like, wait, no, I've never tried to be round. And then it evolves into a full fucking circle, which it's my background right now. Have you ever tried? Asked the Big O. That's the fully complete thing, the Big O. Hold on, let me just like pull up a little excerpt from the missing piece.
Have you ever tried? Asked the Big O.
Have you ever tried? I was bawling. I sent my mom a picture. I think it was on New Year's I was doing this. Just like tears streaming down my face. And my parents were going through a divorce while my mom was reading this to me as a kid. And I was like, is this what you were feeling? Like, how did you keep it together while you're reading me this book? And she was like, yeah, dude, welcome to reading kids' books as an adult. It finds like the perfect little triangle for its little hole that it's missing. And the little triangle says to it, I'm not your missing piece. I'm nobody's piece. I'm my own piece. And even if I was somebody's missing piece, I don't think I'd be yours. Like it keeps encountering all of these other things that are like just not right for it. Yeah. It finds one that's too big and one that's too small. And it just, I was like, damn, it explained what it's like to be in your 20s and try to figure out relationships. And I'm sobbing. So I implore you guys to all go read The Missing Piece.
For Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Go read The Missing Piece.
That's what I'm doing. I'm like, we're going to do karaoke, but first I'm going to read you guys The Missing Piece.
You might as well and go read The Velveteen Rabbit while you're at it. Just add to the sob.
Add to the sob. But that reminds me of what it feels like to be either in a relationship with the wrong person or wanting a relationship so desperately to fill a void. You have to remember that happiness does not come from a relationship. It never will. Fulfillment comes from finding your purpose, finding your passion, finding your peace, not from finding your person. And your peace being your inner peace, not your missing piece, just to clarify. I think that so many times I found myself in relationships where I was settling because I was afraid to be lonely. And one of the most important lessons I have learned as an adult is that being lonely is temporary, but settling can be a life sentence. Like, we want to be 80-year-old women and be like, damn, I shouldn't have settled for him. Like, no, we don't want that life for ourselves, guys. We got to get it together.
I will keep hosting karaoke every Valentine's Day. We have a public service. I can't let girls do this. I can't. I really can't do it. I can't be in my 40s looking back being like, oh my God, what am I doing?
It's also really hard to watch your friends that vent to you all year about their boyfriends being pieces of shit. And then they're like, oh, he got me flowers on Valentine's Day and he did this. And it's like, we're good now. It's like one day of effort does not make up for a year of inconsistency.
And also, the two things can coexist. A guy can be a horrible boyfriend and super boyfriend on Valentine's Day. He can be so performative. He can bring you the biggest bouquet of flowers, the most beautiful jewelry. He can bring you amazing chocolate and be horrible to you. The loneliest Valentine's Day I have ever experienced was the Valentine's Day where my living room was full of flowers. My boyfriend at the time had bought me like 10 Jeff Latham bouquets. He was obsessed with Kylie Jenner, so he wanted to do like the whole works. So he was like, I'm going to go to Kylie Jenner's florist and I'm going to fill up her living room with roses. Even like thinking about that relationship, I can like feel how sad I was now.
What was actually going on behind the scenes?
I was the meanest person ever. The meanest person. I don't even talk about this relationship a lot because this person was so horrible to me. And on the surface, I mean, everyone was like, why didn't you stay with that guy? Because when you scroll on Instagram and you see a girl's entire living room is full of perfect red roses, you think, oh my God, he must love her so much. When in reality, it was like, oh no, this is just so you don't actually see what's happening. And when she leaves, she'll look crazy.
Yeah. And all of her friends are going to say, oh no, he was so great to you. And not to say that every relationship that looks nice on Instagram is bad. That's not true. But you have to remember that Instagram's a highlight reel. So if you go on Instagram on Valentine's Day and you're single or you're in a relationship where you don't feel like you're being treated the way that you should and you start to get sad about it, just remember that what you're seeing is not the full entirety of a relationship or its truth, and you're comparing yourself and your situation to something that you've pretty much imagined in your head, that you've made up a story about.
Because everything you've seen on social media too, I think social media has been my job for 14 years. I should know better, and I will still scroll and I will like be saving Pinterest photos for whatever and be like, wow, like I'll even look back at the photo of the whole living room full of roses and be like, I should Valentine's Day aesthetic, and I'm like, oh my God, Valentine's Day aesthetic? Like this was a show. Social media, a lot of it
is a show.
It's a story. It's a story. Even when I am going and living my life, I have to think, oh, that's a moment for content. That's a good moment for content.
Yeah.
I need to share that I'm in this place doing this thing. There are people where like gift giving is their love language and it is authentic to who they are and it is so true. But at the same time, it's not like that for everybody. And you can't beat yourself up if that's not happening for you. Because honestly, I do believe every girl could have that Valentine's Day of the flowers, of the this, of the that. But it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice to have that?
Yeah. If you get that, don't you want it to be so much more than just that?
For sure.
You know? And I feel like a lot of people just make that the goal. Like, I used to want this like full all out Valentine's Day. And part of me still probably does. You know what I'd rather have now? I'd rather have something so thoughtful and personalized to my personality, my relationship, and what I need at that point. Like I have had some of the most stressful days of my life in the last month. January sucked. January is horrible. And like, would going out to a really nice restaurant be fun? Sure. Would him driving me somewhere peaceful, a little bit out of LA, that was really intimate and sweet with like a cute, thoughtful picnic and a letter mean a million times more to me? Sure.
They're just supposed to be nice days.
Yeah,
they're just supposed to be a nice day. We have as a society, I think, honestly, yes, it's commercial, but we've also put these holidays up to kind of like survive monotony of life.
That's literally the purpose of holidays, I think.
So you're allowed to enjoy them. You're allowed to enjoy Valentine's Day. And you're also allowed to have an expectation. Like you're allowed to care about it. You're allowed to have it matter to you. Like I've said, like I've had the Valentine's Day that was picture perfect. The Valentine's Day with the author was authentically like so thoughtful and sweet. And I fucked that one up. But it was so real. It was really the like, let's have a really nice day. Let's just enjoy this day. Let's enjoy being in a relationship and be happy that we're here and we've made it this far.
Yeah, you just said the key word is authenticity.
Yes.
It's not like he can read me like a book and he should know exactly what I want. Being authentic instead of being like, let's do the Valentine's Day ruse.
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's do it. We're going to call this the other guy the Knight. The Knight would always do everything for the show of it. Would make sure he took the pictures of what we were doing and what he did for me and whatever, so he could show it to everybody. So when I would say anything like, oh yeah, this happened, it made me really happy, they're like, well, he just did this for you.
It's giving narcissist.
It was a crazy relationship. I don't even talk about it online because I like start freaking out. Anyway, that was, literally a dream Valentine's Day. And it was one of the worst days of my life. And then you feel crazy crying in a room of red roses. You're like, why am I so sad? Why do I feel crazy? Why do I feel terrible? Because it can coexist. You can have a beautiful, aesthetically beautiful day and also be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, or you can have a chill, like easygoing Valentine's Day and be in a really happy place too. Mm-hmm. You also have to remember that it's okay to walk away and that being single is not a failure. But staying in a bad relationship and continuing to self-sabotage is. And if you're aware of that and you're not ready to leave yet, then that's okay. Take some time. But like, do not forget that you're self-sabotaging, you are wasting your own time, and you are prolonging the inevitable. So just remember that it's better to be alone than to settle on Valentine's Day, guys.
Or you can
like all
hang
year.
out with us.
Or you don't have to be alone. If you're in New York,
you can come hang out with us.
I hope that we helped make you feel a little bit better if you weren't feeling too great about Valentine's Day. And I hope you had fun with Alexa, because Alexa's hanging out for a little bit.
I'm chilling for a while. I'll be on this couch for a minute.